This is Anna. She curates digital collections in a local archive. In her daily work, she often deals with personal information. Some of it is about the archive's online visitors, and some is about people related to the archive's holdings, such as creators and previous owners. From a legal point of view, making archival documents available online is an act of publishing, and the archive is responsible for the information published, including personal data contained in the documents or in their metadata. Anna is aware that almost everywhere in the world, personal data is protected by specific legislation. The archive where Anna works is based and operates in the European Union, so all the actions regarding the management of personal data must be aligned with a General Data Protection Regulation or GDPR. GDPR is an attempt to balance an individual right to privacy and control over their data with increasing business practices based on personal data monetizing. So it's no wonder that the biggest fines for GDPR breaches imposed so far have been in the big tech and media and telecom sector. However, GLIME institutions are also obliged to observe GDPR regulations when handling personal data. This session will help you understand what exactly personal data is and how it is treated under the GDPR, how to apply the GDPR provisions in cultural heritage institutions, and how to compose a clear institutional privacy policy. So, first of all, what is personal data? Any information that can be used to identify a natural person is considered personal data. Natural persons in the GDPR are living individual human beings, so GDPR is only applied to living people. Personal data includes but is not limited to personal names, contact information, gender and ethnicity, biometric data, location data, and political and religious beliefs. Personal data also includes browsing history and information about the books a person borrows from a library. Registration data filled in by the archive's online users is personal data, and so is the portrait photograph in the archive's digital collection. According to the Article 89 of the GDPR, personal data can be processed and archived in the public interest or for historical or scientific research or statistical purposes, but the archiving institution must ensure appropriate protection. People whose data is collected and processed are labeled data subjects in the GDPR, and the person who processes and manages their data is a data controller. Anna has been appointed a data controller by her archive. In smaller GLIME institutions, curators or other employees often act as data controllers. Other employees, especially digital curators, should consult them before publishing digital material containing personal information. Principles relating to the processing of personal data, including collecting, managing, sharing, archiving, and deleting, are defined by the Article 5 of the GDPR. Any European Union based GLIME institution should base their data privacy policies and actions on these principles. So let's take a look at some of them. The Article 5 states that personal data must be processed lawfully, fairly, and transparently. People must be informed that their personal data is being collected using the legal basis of consent. The article also says that data processing should be purposeful. Data should only be collected and processed for specified, explicit, and legitimate purposes. Data collecting should be limited to what is necessary and useful. The collecting of irrelevant data should be avoided. This is called data minimization. Personal data should be accurate and kept up to date. And of course, it should be kept confidential and stored in a safe environment. This includes organizational and technical measures such as secure password protected systems or pseudonymization. Pseudonymization is replacing any information which could be used to identify a person with a value which does not allow the individual to be directly identified, for example, numbers, letters, and symbols. Anna uses it with archival records that are needed for research purposes but contain personal data that should be protected. Also, Anna should publish a data privacy policy on the archive's website. A privacy policy is a statement about how an institution collects, manages, and uses personal data. It is a simple and transparent way of informing people how an institution handles their data. Anna reads the Articles 89 and 160 of the GDPR to learn how her archive might shape data privacy policies and align them with archiving and publishing policies. A privacy policy should explain what personal information is being collected, why, and how it is used. Each data use case should be explained separately. A privacy policy should also contain information about how personal data is stored, how long it is kept, and with whom it is shared. Personal data can be shared under certain conditions. Data subjects need to be clearly informed that their data is being shared, as well as with whom, for what purpose, and based on which legal foundation. The volume of personal data that needs to be shared should be minimized, and sharing should be performed in a secure environment. And finally, an important part of a privacy policy is listing data subjects' rights. Under the GDPR, data subjects have the right to be informed that their personal data is being collected, processed, and archived. Other rights include the right to access their data or to correct them, the right to limit data processing or to ask for erasure, which is sometimes referred to as the right to be forgotten, and the right to obtain a copy of their collected personal data. A privacy policy should also include contact information of the data controller. So, to sum up, GLAM institutions deal with various types of personal data and therefore should set up a clear privacy policy compliant to the GDPR. To set up such policy, they should clearly define what their data collection needs are, what data processing activities will be carried out, where and how long data will be retained, how the storage system will be protected, and how the consent will be asked when needed. It's also important to understand that there are different national regulations in European Union countries that may determine further data privacy policies in the context of GLAM institutions. Thank you for watching the video.